Hey, it's Pete at Pete's Snake Bite Kit. Thanks for coming by and checking out my YouTube again. What we're going to do today is we're going to try and fix a problem with brake fluid overheating. And it's kind of interesting when it overheats. We'll go into some details about that. Let's take a look. This happens only under certain conditions. So here's when it doesn't happen. I've taken a couple passes where I ran this thing up to about 125 and full on massive stop to zero repeatedly. And the brakes are very strong. Car stops amazing. But after I've made a pass with like that thing there, and the headers get hot for making horsepower, and then I've stopped at a light and had to sit stopped at a light, there's no air flowing through the engine compartment, I feel a little bit of brake fade just sitting stopped. So it's just kind of peculiar conditions. The ambient temperature doesn't really seem to matter. The coolant temperature doesn't seem to matter, but it's hot headers stopped at a light. So when that happens, if I turn the cooling fan on, which I've got an override switch for that, it runs a little bit of air past everything, and it's going past the headers and of course past the master cylinders, and it seems to clear up that pedal fade. So I knew a couple things. One is I'm on the bubble. Like it's just barely happening under those conditions. So I'm going to do a couple things. I've already done a few things, which is I wrapped the master cylinders and the lines by it. It's a mess down there. It's hard to get a shot, but you can picture this kind of heat wrap like that around the master cylinders and the lines that run across right underneath there. The other thing is last winter, when I went back to the body shop for some touch-up, he opened up this header hole for me. And I wanted it actually to come back like this because, a CSX car, that opening is actually shaped like that. The foot box comes right there, and there's just nowhere to put that. So open it up a little more, and that lets a little bit of air out, of course. So being on the bubble, we need to get it better, and I don't think we're too far off. Like I say, those things I've done have really improved it. I called Wellwood and talked to them about that. I've been using this 600 plus, and they said they have this XR race only brake fluid, which has a higher boiling point than the 600 does. So I'm gonna bleed the system out, put that in it fresh. And then I went and got a sheet of aluminum and made this little gizmo. When you were looking down on the headers went like this and they go out. So that's formed around that. Then under here is where the master cylinders are and the lines going out of the master cylinder. So that's gonna isolate that. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this Reflecti-Gold tape, which is supposed to dissipate heat off of things like this. So I think I'll put it on both sides to just help with that heat dissipation on this aluminum panel. So let's see, let's take this and put it on that. Well, there you go. That was easier than I thought. So I got that wrapped on both sides. It looks pretty good, pretty NASA looking, huh? Anyway, let's put it on the car. So let's see where that guy ended up. Right down there. And like I say, the master cylinder and lines are directly below that. And should keep that heat separated so brakes don't fade at a hot stoplight.